Content warning. The stories and themes shared throughout this podcast may contain themes that can be distressing for you. If needed, please pause and do what you need to do to take care of yourself. If needed, please reach out to a mental health professional for support.
Welcome back to another episode of Resilient AF with Blair and Alana. With Blair and Alana. I love
Hello,
it.
hello.
Hello. I love when it's like our griefy gal sister recording time because, when I'm recording episodes with guests and Alana's not here, I say Resilient AF with Blair and Alana, but no Alana. But we do have.
But here
So
I am.
here you are. And this is one of my favorite topics we're going to talk about. And it's not going to be the last time we talk about this, but today we're going to talk about tattoos.
Mhm.
And I really do believe every tattoo has a story. Sometimes the story emerges in hindsight. Some of us have no tattoos. Some of us have many tattoos. Some of us have had our tattoos removed or covered up. And Alana and I are very different, very, very different. And we're going to
Mhm.
talk about Alana's first tattoo and I don't even know how many tattoos I have. And we're going to talk about the inspiration for Resilient AF Skin Deep Stories. So by now you've heard our commercial. It's been running in every episode. You may have seen it on posted on social media, but we're gonna just share our journey with tattoos and how we got to the idea of creating this like beautiful coffee table style book.
Mhm.
And Alana is my younger sister, and I want to share the like a really high level of story, and I want to know what like her memory is of this. So being a child of divorce and the daughter of a man who lived with addiction, who I basically thought stopped loving me. I just like wanted his attention, male's attention, wanted to be cool. Like, I don't know. I had a lot of trauma, have a lot of trauma. But I made the decision that in grade 10, I wanted a tattoo. And my dad didn't raise us, our mom did. And I said, Mom, I want to get a tattoo. And she's like, No. And I was like, Yeah, I want to go. And she said, Your dad would never take you. And I said, Yeah, he would. And she said, No, he wouldn't. And I said, Yeah, he would. And she's like, Go ask him. So I said, Dad, will you take me to get a tattoo? And he's like, Yeah, sure. I'll take you Friday. And so I just went to the nearest place to my high school and picked something off the wall, modified it a bit. And that Friday, I believe my friend Jeff, Thea, maybe someone else, I can't remember. And if it was you, please let me know. And my father are all in Gravity. I remember it was called Gravity. It doesn't exist anymore. And there I was, lo and behold, getting a tribal sun tattooed on my body. Some of us may know it as a tramp stamp, but I was on my lower back. And no one I knew at this time had a tattoo. It was just like Jeff had a tattoo or he got a tattoo. I think it was like maybe the Motley Crue logo. I don't know. For whatever reason, I got the tattoo. I wanted it. I felt pretty badass. I was super cool. And then I said, Dad, like, you need to tell mom. And so I guess he told mom and I knew she would be so upset because tattoos are against our religion. My mom was not for it. And like to make matters worse, my father, who she loathed, took me. And so I knew that her coming home from work that day was going to be scary. So I made sure I had friends over to
Mhm.
like soften the blow. And she walks in the house and she goes, Show me. And I show her. And she's like, Ugh, that's disgusting. You better call your grandparents. I'm like, Why? She's like, Baba and Zeta know you have a tattoo. I called them and I said, You know what your stupid son did? Your stupid son took my daughter to get a tattoo. So I like didn't care. I pissed mom off. Like, of course not. And I got on the phone. Baba Leia, our grandma was like, next time just like give us a warning. And then my Zeta got on the phone, my dad's dad, and he was like, I feel like I failed you as a grandfather and you should have came to us for advice. And that's actually the only person I felt bad about, like disappointing. And I broke a promise, which was to never get any more tattoos. And so I broke that. But yeah, my mom was really mad and I don't even know if her mom like ever knew I had it because her whole
Cat
thing was
cover.
like every time we were around Baba Ruthie, she'd be like, tat cover, tat
Cat
cover.
cover.
And but like it was It was the 2000s. And so like it was about low-rise jeans and kind of shorter shirts. So like there was always some tribal sun sticking out, with my butt crack. But my that was my first tattoo. Do you remember that, Alana?
Yep. I
Tell me about like
remember
what you remember.
I remember mom picking me up from wherever I was, maybe I guess school, and on the way home being like, "Do you know what your sister did? Mad at her," or something along the lines. I'm like, "What?" And she got a tattoo, and I just remember being like, "Oh, uh-oh." And I remember coming into the house and then like peeking in your room, and like you had a couple friends surrounding you on the bed in the corner.
Yeah.
It was the pink room.
Yeah, I was. I think it was Isaac and Seth. I was like some guys.
I honestly can't remember
Maybe
who it
Thea. Thea
was.
for sure was
I feel
there.
like there was a girl there. And
Yeah.
yeah, I remember just like the whole hullabaloo of Baba and Zeta and um mom being so mad at dad. And I kind of like hid in my room. I was like, oh gosh.
Mom was mad.
She was mad and she gave me the warning that she was mad. And I think there probably was a part of me that was like, oh well, I'm in the good graces today or
Yeah, but you
something.
were always in the good graces.
Yeah.
So, a little bit of a tattoo tour. I'm not going to show them to you because A, you might be listening and not watching this. And also, I'm in a one piece romper and like some of them are in weird places. But a few years, or like, I don't even actually know the timeline right now, but I did get a tribal, sorry, I got my tribal on my lower back. And then I believe in grade 12, I got the Leo symbol on my in my hip. And I always forget about that one. And then I'm in the
The
bath. I'm like, oh yeah,
star.
that. Then when I was 19, I got a star on my neck. And and then I got when me and my best friend Heather lived in Greece for a summer, and I got a tattoo from some like old Greek man on like his tattoo shop was on the beach. He didn't speak English, but it stems from an old sailor tattoo, and it's like a compass on my ribs. And then below that, I have part of a Hebrew prayer for safe travel, which I absolutely love it. People ask me what it is, and I often say it's Britney Spears lyrics in Hebrew. But um, and then what did I get next?
You
Did I
had
get
so
my
many.
lion next?
You may have gotten your lion
I have a
next.
really beautiful portrait of a lion. Now, what this makes this one a little bit better is because, like, well, it's like probably one of the most beautiful tattoos I have.
Hmm.
And my cousin, Susanna Fisher in Seattle, is an amazing award-winning tattoo artist. She did it. And
Oh.
then I also got on the other side of that. So I got that right before the pandemic after Shane had his heart attack. And then on the other side of it, so I have a half a sleeve on my left arm. I have dogwood flowers and it's really beautiful. And then mom died.
No, no, you're missing one.
Which one?
The cover up of the tribal sun.
Oh, right. Sorry. Because I can't see it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. So that And like, does a cover up count as two tattoos? Yes, because I had to sit through both. And like
Yeah.
okay, so I decided that I wanted to no longer have a tribal son, but I fought so hard for that I was not getting rid of it. I'm gonna cover it up. And so
Mhm.
Susanna actually did a big feather. And I actually had to sit in two different sessions for that. And I call it like my tail feather or my huge ass feather because it's actually
Mhm.
pretty big. So I got that before the lion,
Mhm.
and I got that before the dogwood. And then mom died. And it's interesting because mom was so against tattoos. And I'll never forget her saying, I think you weren't there, Alana, but she was saying, when I get like, so mom, if you're just tuning in, our mom died. Surprise. Surprise. And she died quite fast, like learned she had cancer, died 3 weeks later. And I was taking her to the hospital because she wasn't told she was terminal. So at this time didn't think she was going to die. But she looks at me and says, once I get through this, I'm going to get a tattoo on my wrist that says survivor. And I thought that was funny because I was like, I'll get a matching tattoo with you. And then Alana can get the survivor logo.
Yeah, because I love Survivor. If you're
And,
just tuning in.
but then like she went into the hospital and like 4 days later, she was dead. Um, and Alana, until this moment, didn't have any tattoos, no survivor logo, no tramp stamps, no, nothing.
No, no.
And how did it even like come about that? So we got Alana and I got matching tattoos, the exact same tattoo in the exact same spot.
I'll
Literally,
tell you
like,
how it
okay,
came
I'm gonna pass
about.
the torch to Alana because this is where it's her
We
time to
were
shine.
sitting in the hospital. I think it was the first day that we had with the two of us. We had 2 full days together in the hospital. And you were saying you're like, I'm gonna get mom's signature tattooed. It's so pretty. And I'm like, yeah, it's
Well,
beautiful.
this is after we learned she was going to die.
Yeah. And I was like, I want it too. And then I think mom's body wasn't even cold before you set up an appointment.
No, cause yeah, okay. So Alana, I never thought would get a tattoo, but she like totally was like, yes, I'll get that too. And
Yeah.
I chose, which is funny because I chose my right arm because I'm right-handed, so I'm always writing and doing things with it, so I can always look down at it. And Alana is left-handed, but she has it on her right arm too, which I love because it's such a
Yeah.
little
It's
sister thing.
matching, but it's also matching.
I know it's matching, but I love like my reason was so I can see it, and yours is because it's matching. It's
Yeah.
like so it's like the height of COVID. There's no vaccines yet, and I think like neither of us at the time were living in Winnipeg. I still don't,
Hmm.
and I'm like I don't know who tattoos. Like the last tattoo I got here was like gravity and 10. Like I don't remember.
Yeah.
And I think our neighbor growing up was super tattooy and connected us to someone she knew, and that person got us in right away. And like we went there, we brought our cousin with us, and she opened the place and gave us each the tattoo on our wrist of her mom's signature. Not our
Two or
wrist.
three
Was there a forearm? Like this,
forearm.
it's
Yeah,
there.
it's a forearm. Um, and it was so mom died on the 23rd, the funeral is the 24th, and the tattoos happened the 27th.
I love that you know that.
Of course I do.
So that's like Alana's only tattoo for now, and
For
maybe
now.
forever. Who knows?
No, I have ideas.
Oh. And so, okay, so my most recent tattoo is what kind of sparked this next book we're working on.
Hmm.
And so I'm a nice person. I'm also like always a runner up, never a winner type thing. Like lately, I haven't been winning, like my luck has changed. But when I was in grade five, I won an award for being a mensch, which is a nice person in Yiddish. And I remember like walking into the gymnasium in grade five and like seeing mom. And I thought that was really weird because mom would never showed up for school stuff in the middle of the day because she worked full time. And I am not an academic. So it's like, what award am I winning? Like, I'm not like,
Hmm.
not like, I'm smart, but I'm not like the most academic.
And you're
And
not
anyways,
athletic either,
yeah, I'm not academic or athletic.
because that's usually the other type of
Oh.
word. Yeah.
And so I win this award. I vaguely remember going up and winning it. But anyways, so I have this shoebox. So when I'm feeling griefy nowadays, I look through the shoebox and I found this picture of me winning an award. And I was just like, oh, Lana. Like, so I FaceTimed Alana to show her the picture and I turned it around. And on the back of it, in our mom's very pretty handwriting, was a message that she wrote almost 30 years ago that says, proud of you. And I immediately felt like so overwhelmed with emotion and I cried. I was like, this is what I miss because my mom would tell me every time she spoke to me how proud she was of me. She would text me every day. And like, I don't know, like I know I'm building a global movement with Alana, but like there's no blueprint. And like I don't really like I know what I'm doing, but I don't. Like I'm kind of like in a paving the way situation. And like I never know if like what I'm doing, like I know what I'm doing feels right, but it's also when you're not getting like validation from your parents or, if you're doing these certain things and like you're not getting a certain level of like confirmation that what you're doing is like making a difference or on a trajectory that you're trying to be on, it's discouraging. And I know I miss my mom telling me she's proud of me, but I didn't realize how much I missed it. And so when I got that picture, I just like it was like the message I needed to hear. I was getting ready to do a 7-day hike on the West Coast Trail on Vancouver Island. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get this tattooed on my leg. So when I want to quit on the hike, which will happen probably in the first few hours, which it did, I didn't quit. I can look down and see this message. And so I ended up getting it tattooed on me. And Alana loved it. So we started making merch. What do you want to share
Hmm.
what we made?
Yeah, made hats that say proud of you and t-shirts that say proud of you with embroidered, and I have both.
And it's not just doesn't just say proud of you. It's like the exact writing of my
Yeah,
mom, of our mom.
yeah.
And little did I know that this would spark this idea, but I shared the tattoo and on social media, and I shared lots on social, but what every time I share it and I share the story behind it, people started sharing their tattoos and the stories of resilience behind them, including like other loved ones who have, departed this earth and the messages and their writing. And an idea dropped in, and when ideas drop in, I just go with it. And
Hmm.
I thought, you know what, I'm going to put it out there. And if people are interested, we're going to do it. And so Resilient AF Skin Deep Stories was born. And it is the next book we are working on. It's going to launch, like it's going to be available next holiday season. So December 2025. Alana's actually going to write a story for this one. So it's super special because Alana only writes, some important words, very important words at the beginning of the book, but she's never shared her personal story of her tattoo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we're going to make a beautiful coffee table style book where there's one full page of a picture of the tattoo, and then the other page is going to be the story behind the tattoo. And we've like soft launched it, and we've, already had like we already have people locked in. So it's super exciting to know that people want to share their stories.
Definitely. Yeah, and tattoos are such beautiful things, and sometimes out of hardships is when people get these tattoos. And like
Yeah.
I said earlier, I'm thinking about tattoos, and it's almost like I'm waiting for hardships to happen and I shouldn't.
Okay, so let's talk. Okay, so I want to know like what are some of the tattoos? Like I know like you want to like I know I specifically, let me just guess just from like social media posts we share. My guess is that you want to get some sort of tattoo to honor Molly, your cat.
Yeah. Yeah. So I saw this really cute thing where it was like it's small and like it looks like a kind of like a doily type frame and then a cat inside. And I would love to have that on maybe my arm, on my inner arm on my left side.
Well, and I think find the right artist. Like you don't need to wait
Yeah,
for some like I think the monument is like you're loving life with Molly now, and I know she's getting older, but like we don't need to wait until something tragic happens,
that is
right?
true.
And
Yeah.
like it can be a celebratory,
Yeah, I could
like
show it to her, be like, look, Molly, you're on my skin.
yeah, it's so interesting because like I love that you already are thinking about the next tattoo you want. And I think you should get it sooner than later instead of looking at it and remembering like, the
Yeah,
oh no, this is like in honor of my dead cat in the future. It could be like this is celebrating her
my
life.
cat's life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think we've talked about this a little bit before. And so once I am cleared to,
Yeah.
AKA when my medication has left my body that is preventing me right now, then
I
I
got
will.
my tattoos all on Accutane,
Yeah.
but I break
I'm more of,
rules.
yeah, I'm more of a rule follower. And I'm also the type of person who like it would like scab over weird, and I just have
Uh,
that energy. So,
Are there other tattoos that you're thinking of getting?
well, we had talked in the past about like getting like another like one with similar
Oh yeah.
flowers.
Yeah. So we talked about getting so like every birth month has flowers associated with it. So we talked about getting like a thin like fine line tattoo of us and like our female cousins like getting a bouquet.
Hmm. So that's something I've considered. Um, and that's really it so far.
Yeah. Like
Emphasis on the so far.
so far. Yeah, I know like me and my friend I have this one friend and like I don't I don't know like I don't have her permission to talk about it, but we've been talking about getting something small and matching and I definitely want to get something to represent accomplishing the West Coast Trail. I know I got the proud of you before the West Coast Trail to keep me motivated. Um, and the girl Lindsay, who and the group I went with, like, Lindsay and I were talking about getting maybe a tattoo, but I don't know. But I kind of have this idea of like the route isn't like, it was very stunning, but on a map, it's not the coolest line, but I think it'd be really cool to get like the map route, just like a
Hmm.
line,
Hmm.
somewhere. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know that I probably will be getting tattooed the rest of my life. And as things happen, I'll like the idea will drop in and I'll feel inspired about it. And I love that like the progress I've made from age 15 to like age 40, almost 40.
Hmm.
Um, and yes, something crazy didn't happen. And then I got a tramp stamp or like the story behind it is quite hilarious. And or the star in my neck. I remember getting it and I think my boyfriend at the time broke up with me and I just like wanted his attention. So I like made him come with
Hmm.
me to the appointment. Like the Leo symbol, like yes, I'm a proud Leo. I don't know why I got it on my hip. I I think it was all still along the lines of like getting tattooed and kind of keeping it sort of hidden and like being thinking I'm really cool, but like if you're in grade 10, don't get a tattoo, please.
Yeah.
Like I mean, and if you do, like just get it something small enough that you can cover. But I'm never
Yeah.
gonna get any like none of them removed. And some of our stories about our tattoos like are very personal, and I love when people ask me about my tattoos, like the lion I just wanted to get. I thought it was really beautiful. I'm a Leo. Clearly I've just said that 100 times. And um also our dad's Hebrew name is Aryeh, which means lion, so I just found it like really cool.
Hmm.
Yeah. So skin deep stories. Anything you want to add, Alana?
The only thing I would add is if you are considering a tattoo, just know that our brains don't fully develop until our mid-20s. So, um, take that with what you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you get a tattoo and you regret it, you can get it removed or cover it up.
Or there's a story there too.
Yeah, exactly. And one other, like, I speak Hebrew. I verified what I was getting just to make sure. But if you're going to get another language that you don't speak tattooed on your body, make sure what you're getting actually means what it says. I mean,
Yeah, and
yeah.
another thing is along those lines, if you're going to get a tattoo of a culture that you may not identify with, maybe think twice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So like what would an example of something be?
And anything kind of like even again, like I think of more of those like Mandarin based tattoos where people think they're getting one thing and not. It's like, why are you getting that? Just like thinking about that. Or like if you're getting something that might be prominent in like prominent style of tattoos in certain cultures,
Yeah.
like either like indigenous cultures or whatnot, just think about if is this something that needs to be on my body?
To wrap this up, I have to say, like, I've seen some very hilarious tattoos, and my very first serious boyfriend had a ridiculous tattoo that he eventually got covered up, and it was a joint, like a doobie, with a face running with like arms and legs, and it said "Hi," HIGH in quotations.
That's funny.
Very typical of this person. Who knows? Every so often I'll Google him. I'm like, I don't know. I wonder where he is, but I don't.
Actually, on that note, another suggestion would be is like, if you want a tattoo, think to yourself, do I want this as a tattoo or do I want this as a print to hang up in my room?
Like a joint running with a face saying "Hi."
Just
Do
think
I want
about
this
it.
on my body or on my wall?
I mean, no judgment. Just, yeah. Is
And
this a
if you're
wall?
listening to this, maybe you want it on your body, on your wall, and in Skin Deep Stories, right?
Nice
So,
transition.
Resilient
Yeah.
AF Skin Deep Stories, the goal is to have 30 beautiful tattoos, stories, the stories behind them. If this resonates with you, there's a link in the show notes. You can go to theglobalresilienceproject.com, schedule a call with me, Blair, and we can talk about if this is the right fit for you. There is a nominal fee to participate because there's a lot of expenses that go into publishing a book like this. But we will be launching it in New York in Times Square, December 2025, which is going to be very exciting. And I love beautiful coffee table style books that showcase art and body art, tattoos, and empowering stories. So if this resonates, we want to hear from you. We want to connect with you. In fact, actually, in the show notes, there's a link to directly book a call with me. So, if you're watching this, it's below in the YouTube. If you're listening to a podcast while you're driving, please pull over and click the link. Don't look at your phone and drive. And on that note, yep, listen to Alana. Think twice. Should it be on your wall? Should it be on your body? Should it be in our book?
Yes. Three free
And
thrives.
yeah, so thank you for tuning in to another episode of Resilient AF with Blair and Alana, with Blair and Alana. It's great to be here with all of you. Thanks for spending time going on a tattoo tour without physically seeing all of them, but maybe one day you will. Who knows?
A tattooer,
A
as we might
tattooer.
say.
Welcome to the tattooer, the Kaplan sister tattooer. And,
Hmm.
just know it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to have tattoos you regret. Life
Hmm.
happens, shit happens, but you're not alone. You're not going through it alone. You don't have to go through it alone. And you will get through it. We're here to support you and to be that lighthouse in the storm. And friends, just remember, you are resilient AF. That's a wrap for another episode of Resilient AF with Blair and Alana. And thank you for listening. Are you feeling inspired to bounce forward?
Let's connect at theglobalresilienceproject.com, where you can read many stories of resilience, buy our books, shop our clothing line, learn more about how to strengthen your resilience muscle, be empowered, and more.
Remember, friends, you are resilient AF.